Stop scrolling for just a moment, because what I am about to reveal to you will change the way you see the people around you forever. You have been walking through life blind to something that has been draining you slowly, quietly, like a leak in a boat that you do not notice until you are already sinking. Right now, as you watch this, there is someone close to you, someone you trust, someone you see regularly, who is working against your peace whether they realize it or not. I am not here to make you paranoid, but to open your eyes to a truth you have been avoiding, because it is easier to pretend everything is fine than to face the reality that some people in your life are not meant to stay there. The Virgin Mary has given me a specific message for you today, and it is not gentle, it is not vague, it is sharp and direct, because the danger you are in requires immediate action, not careful consideration. You know that feeling you get after talking to certain people where you suddenly feel exhausted, even though the conversation seemed normal? That heaviness that settles on your chest when you see their name pop up on your phone. That subtle anxiety that creeps in when you know you have to spend time with them? Those are not random emotions. Those are spiritual alarms your soul is sounding to warn you that this person carries something toxic, and every interaction with them costs you more than you realize. Most people ignore these signals because they have been taught that being a good person means tolerating everyone, giving endless chances, always seeing the best in people, even when those people consistently show you their worst. But the Virgin Mary is telling me to tell you that this tolerance is not virtue, it is self-destruction. And the price you are paying for keeping toxic people close is your own joy, your own peace, your own future. Let me describe someone to you, and I want you to pay attention to see if this sounds familiar. This person always has a crisis, always needs something from you, always manages to make every conversation about themselves, even when you started talking about your own struggles. When good things happen to you, they congratulate you with their mouth, but their eyes tell a different story, a story of envy, of comparison, of resentment that you are moving forward while they stay stuck. They give advice you never asked for, advice that somehow always makes you feel smaller, less capable, more confused than you were before. They share your private information with others under the disguise of asking for prayer or seeking guidance, but really they are gossiping, spreading your business, making themselves look concerned while painting you in a negative light. They borrow money and never pay it back, ask for favors but are never available when you need help, take your generosity for granted and get offended when you finally set a boundary. If any of this resonates with you, then you already know who I am talking about. You have known for a while, but you have been making excuses for them because they are family, or because you have history, or because you fear confrontation, or because you worry what others will think if you cut them off. Here is what the Virgin Mary wants you to understand. That person is not going to change. Not because change is impossible, but because they have no reason to change when you keep accepting their behavior, keep giving them access, keep sacrificing your peace to maintain a relationship that only benefits them. You have been waiting for them to wake up, to realize how they hurt you, to finally become the person you need them to be. But while you wait, they continue to drain you, to steal your joy piece by piece, to occupy space in your life that should be reserved for people who actually add value instead of constantly extracting it. Every day you delay making the hard decision to protect yourself is another day you lose energy you will never get back, joy that gets harder to recover, peace that becomes more distant. The Virgin Mary is not asking you to hate this person or seek revenge. She is simply telling you to choose yourself for once, to value your own well-being enough to create distance, to understand that loving someone does not mean giving them unlimited access to hurt you. Now let me tell you about the second type of joy thief, because not all of them operate the same way. This one is more subtle, more dangerous, because they do not seem toxic on the surface. They are the person who always agrees with you to your face, but never actually supports you when it matters. They smile and nod while you share your dreams, but never ask about your progress, never celebrate your wins, never show genuine interest in your growth. They are pleasant enough that you cannot point to anything specific they did wrong, but something about them always leaves you feeling unsettled, like you cannot fully relax or be yourself around them. This person is a peace thief, who operates through passive aggression, through subtle digs disguised as jokes, through backhanded compliments that sting more than outright insults. They undermine you in ways so small that calling it out makes you look sensitive or dramatic, but over time, these small cuts add up, and you find yourself doubting yourself, second-guessing your decisions, feeling less confident than you did before they entered your life. The Virgin Mary showed me something about your future, and I need to share it with you now. In the next 3 months, you're going to face a moment where you will have to make a choice about one of these joy thieves in your life. The situation is going to force your hand. It is going to push you to either finally establish a boundary or to continue suffering in silence. Heaven is setting up this moment, not to punish you, but to free you, to give you an opportunity to break a pattern that has controlled you for too long. But here's the critical part. When that moment comes, you are going to feel intense guilt. You are going to hear voices in your head telling you that you are being mean or selfish or unforgiving. You are going to feel pressure from others who do not understand your situation to give this person another chance. That guilt is a weapon the enemy uses to keep you in bondage, and if you surrender to it, you will miss your window of freedom, and you will be stuck in this cycle for years longer than necessary. The Virgin Mary is preparing you right now, so that when that moment arrives, you will recognize it. You will have the strength to act. You will choose your peace over their comfort. Some of you watching this are angry right now, because I am describing your mother, your sibling, your closest friend, someone you never imagined you would need to create distance from. You feel conflicted because you love this person, but you also know deep down that I am telling the truth about how they affect you. Let me make this very clear. Creating distance from someone does not mean you do not love them. It means you love yourself enough to stop allowing them to destroy you. You can pray for someone from a distance. You can want the best for someone without being in constant contact with them. You can forgive someone and still decide they no longer get access to your energy. The lie you have believed is that real love means enduring abuse, tolerating disrespect, sacrificing your well-being to keep someone else comfortable. But that is not love, that is trauma bonding. That is codependency. That is you repeating patterns you learned growing up that were never healthy in the first place. I'm going to tell you exactly what will happen if you ignore this warning and continue allowing joy thieves to operate freely in your life. Within 6 months, you will notice that things which used to excite you no longer bring any feeling at all. You will go through motions without any real engagement or passion. You will start isolating yourself not because you want to be alone, but because being around people has become exhausting, and you no longer have the energy to maintain relationships, even with those who are healthy for you. Your health will decline in ways doctors cannot fully explain. Mysterious aches and pains, fatigue that sleep does not fix, anxiety that medication does not touch, because your body is manifesting the spiritual warfare you refuse to address. You will look in the mirror one day and not recognize the person staring back at you, wondering when you became so tired, so joyless, so unlike the vibrant person you used to be. And the most tragic part is that the people stealing your joy will still be right there, still taking from you, still draining you, completely unaware or completely unconcerned about the damage they are causing. But there is another path available to you starting right now in this moment. Imagine waking up 6 months from now feeling lighter than you have felt in years, because you finally removed the people who were weighing you down. Imagine having energy to pursue things you are passionate about because you are no longer spending all your resources managing other people's drama and dysfunction. Imagine genuine laughter returning to your life, spontaneous joy bubbling up from within you, a sense of freedom and possibility you thought you had lost forever. Imagine relationships where there is reciprocity, where you feel valued and appreciated, where you can be authentic without fear of judgment or manipulation. This is not a fantasy. This is the life waiting for you on the other side of the hard decision you know you need to make. The Virgin Mary is holding this future in her hands, and she is offering it to you. But you have to be willing to let go of what you are currently clinging to. You have to be willing to disappoint some people in order to save yourself. You have to be willing to walk through temporary discomfort to reach lasting peace. Here is your assignment, and I need you to take it seriously, because your future depends on it. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to write down the names of 3 people in your life, and next to each name, write how you feel after spending time with them. Be brutally honest, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Tomorrow, I want you to pick one person from that list, just one, and establish a boundary with them. It could be limiting how often you communicate. It could be saying no to a request you would normally say yes to. It could be ending a conversation when it starts to drain you instead of enduring it. Do not announce what you are doing. Do not explain yourself excessively. Just quietly implement the boundary and observe what happens. If that person respects your boundary, then maybe the relationship can continue in a healthier form. But if they react with anger or manipulation or guilt trips, then you have just confirmed everything I told you about them, and you know what needs to happen next. This is not about being cruel. This is about being wise. This is about honoring the life heaven gave you enough to protect it from those who would destroy it. The Virgin Mary wants me to tell you one more thing before I finish, and this is the most important part. You are not responsible for how other people respond to your healthy choices. You are only responsible for making those choices. When you start protecting your peace, some people will call you fake. They will say you changed. They will spread rumors about you. They will try to turn others against you. But all of this is confirmation that you made the right decision. Because healthy people do not punish you for having boundaries. Let them talk. Let them be angry. Let them paint you as the villain in their story, because the people who truly matter will see the truth, and the people who believe lies about you without asking for your side were never really on your side anyway. Your peace is worth more than their approval. Your joy is worth more than their comfort. Your future is worth more than their opinion. Stand firm. Do not apologize for choosing yourself. Do not back down when they try to manipulate you back into the old dynamic. And trust that heaven is clearing space in your life for the right people to enter once you remove the wrong ones. There is something else happening that you need to know about, and this might be the hardest truth you hear today. Some of you are not just victims of joy thieves. You have also been a joy thief to someone else. Maybe you did not realize it. Maybe you told yourself you were just venting or seeking support. But the reality is that you have been draining someone who cares about you, taking more than you give, making everything about your problems while ignoring theirs. The same resentment you feel toward people who drain you is the same resentment someone else feels toward you. And until you acknowledge this and change your behavior, you will keep attracting the same types of relationships because you are actually calling in what you are putting out. This is not about shame. This is about awareness. And if something in you just got defensive or wanted to skip past this part, then that is probably confirmation that this applies to you more than you want to admit. Think about the last time someone set a boundary with you. How did you react? Did you respect it? Or did you push back, make them feel guilty, accuse them of changing or being fake? When someone shares good news with you, Do you genuinely celebrate, or do you immediately shift the conversation to your own achievements or struggles? When people come to you with their problems, do you listen with the intent to support, or do you listen with the intent to one-up them with your own bigger problems? These are uncomfortable questions, but they reveal patterns you might not see in yourself, patterns that push good people away and leave you wondering why your relationships never last, or why people eventually distance themselves from you. The Virgin Mary is offering you a chance right now to break this cycle, to become someone who gives life instead of taking it. But it requires you to get brutally honest with yourself about who you have been and make a decision to become someone different. Let me tell you what I see in your future if you make the brave choice to both remove joy thieves from your life and stop being one yourself. I see you 6 months from now surrounded by a small circle of genuine friends who show up for you consistently because you show up for them consistently. I see reciprocal relationships where there is balance, where both people add value, where you feel energized after spending time together instead of drained. I see you finally pursuing dreams you put on hold because you were too busy managing other people's chaos or being consumed by your own drama. I see physical symptoms disappearing, mental clarity returning, emotional stability becoming your new normal instead of constant turbulence. I see you laughing freely, without that underlying tension you have carried for so long, sleeping peacefully without anxiety attacks in the middle of the night, waking up with genuine excitement about your day instead of dread. But most importantly, I see you liking who you are becoming, feeling proud of the changes you have made, recognizing that the temporary pain of cutting off toxic people and addressing your own toxic behaviors was absolutely worth the freedom and joy you now experience daily. The Virgin Mary showed me one more vision I need to share before we end. In exactly 3 weeks from today, you are going to have an encounter with one of the joy thieves in your life, and this encounter is going to be a test. They are going to do or say something that would normally hook you, that would normally pull you back into the old dynamic, that would normally make you question the boundaries you are trying to establish. In that moment, you will have a choice. You can react the way you always have, engaging with their manipulation, defending yourself, trying to make them understand, or you can respond with calm strength, maintaining your boundary without explanation, walking away from the conversation if necessary. How you handle that moment will determine whether you move forward into freedom or stay stuck in the same painful cycle. I am telling you this now so that when it happens, you will recognize it. You will remember this warning, and you will make the choice that honors your peace instead of their comfort. Do not be caught off guard. Do not be surprised when it happens. And most importantly, do not convince yourself that this one time you should make an exception, because that is how they keep you trapped, by making you believe that this time is different when it never actually is. I need to address something for those of you who are terrified right now, because the person I have been describing is someone you depend on financially, or someone you live with, or someone who has power over your circumstances in some way. You feel stuck because cutting them off or creating distance seems impossible given your current situation. The Virgin Mary wants you to know that she sees your unique challenge, and she is not asking you to do something reckless that puts you in danger or leaves you without resources you genuinely need. What she is asking is that you start planning your exit strategy now, that you begin taking small steps toward independence, even if it takes months or years to fully separate, that you protect your mental and emotional peace even if you cannot yet protect your physical space. This might mean getting a separate bank account they do not know about, saving money secretly, making plans with people you trust, seeking help from organizations that specialize in your specific situation. It might mean learning to emotionally detach even while physically present, refusing to engage with their manipulation, even if you cannot yet remove yourself from their presence, guarding your heart and mind, even when you cannot yet guard your physical space. Freedom is a process, not an event, And for some of you, it will take strategic planning and patient execution. But that does not mean it is impossible. It just means your timeline looks different than someone else's. And that is okay, as long as you are actively moving toward liberation, instead of resigning yourself to permanent bondage. Now, here is what you need to do in the next 24 hours, and I mean literally do not just think about doing. First, identify the one person in your life who drains you the most. The one whose name made your stomach drop when I started describing joy thieves earlier. Second, decide on one specific boundary you are going to implement with this person starting immediately. Make it clear and enforceable, not vague and flexible. Third, tell one trusted person about the boundary you are setting so they can hold you accountable when you feel tempted to back down. Fourth, prepare yourself mentally for the backlash that is coming when this person realizes you are no longer playing your old role in their life. Fifth, commit to maintaining this boundary for at least 30 days, no matter how hard they push back, because it takes time to establish new patterns. And if you cave after a few days, you will teach them that your boundaries mean nothing, and they just need to apply more pressure to get you to fold. 30 days might sound like forever when you are used to giving in immediately, but it is actually a very short time in the context of your entire life, and the freedom you will gain by sticking with it is worth every uncomfortable moment. Let me speak directly to those of you who are watching this and thinking that you do not have any toxic people in your life, that your relationships are all fine, that this message does not apply to you. I want you to consider the possibility that you are in denial, that you have become so accustomed to dysfunction that you no longer recognize it as abnormal, that you have lowered your standards so far that you accept treatment you should never tolerate. Just because you have adapted to toxicity does not mean it is not toxic. Just because you have learned to function in dysfunction does not mean you are thriving. Just because you can survive the presence of joy thieves does not mean you should. The Virgin Mary is inviting you to imagine a higher standard of relationship, to consider that maybe you deserve more than what you have settled for, to entertain the possibility that there is a version of your life where you are surrounded by people who genuinely love and support you instead of people you have to constantly manage or recover from. Do not let familiarity with pain convince you that pain is normal. Do not let years of tolerating mistreatment make you believe that mistreatment is acceptable. And do not let fear of being alone keep you in relationships that are slowly killing who you were meant to become. If this message hit you in your spirit, if you know exactly who and what I am talking about, then I need you to leave a comment right now and type these words: I choose peace over people pleasing. Because that declaration is your first act of defiance against the patterns that have kept you bound. Subscribe to this channel, because you are going to need continued support and guidance as you walk through this transformation, and future messages will give you the tools to maintain the freedom you are about to step into. Hit that like button as an agreement with heaven that you are ready to protect what is sacred, ready to guard what is precious, ready to finally put yourself first after years of putting everyone else ahead of your own well-being. Your joy is not negotiable. Your peace is not optional. And anyone who cannot respect that does not deserve access to you. The Virgin Mary is standing with you. Heaven is supporting you. And the strength you need is already inside you waiting to be activated. Make the hard choice today so you can live the free life tomorrow.